Is your life filled with anger and hate? Do you often find yourself a little judgmental when it comes to people and situations? So much of our growth depends on our ability to see our own reflection and work with many perspectives. Perspective through duality is a challenging concept that many of us struggle with. In this video, we're going to discuss duality and how you can start to work with new perspectives so that you can live in unity. Hi everybody, I'm Miss Raina. Today we're going to break down the idea of duality. This is an idea that we often ignore because we've been conditioned to see only what's in front of us. If we use this concept of duality to learn a new perspective, then we not only gain knowledge from the universe, but we also gain a sense of self. Before life began, our consciousness was one. And one day, an idea came to us that thought, well, what else can we be? And in that thought, we realized that in order to experience another perspective, we needed an opposite side. And so we split apart and created the second dimension, in which we call duality. This gave us a whole other way to experience existence and started the beginning concept in life. In order for consciousness to experience all possibilities, it had to create many versions of itself. Duality gives us the best chance of understanding who we are and what we're experiencing. In life, we're taught to see things for face value and then make judgments based on our limited perspective. This creates many of the problems we face in our lives. If we want to get past our limitations, then we must be willing to see past the surface level and dig deeper to see the hidden treasures of life. In order for us to use duality, we have to understand what it is. Let's start with the idea of positive and negative, good and bad, and light and dark. To understand these concepts, we must understand the truth behind them. We often mistake positive and negative as good and bad, but this is false. Think of it this way. Think of positive and negative like two magnets, each with a separate charge that attracts one another. In order for a magnet to work, it must have an opposite attraction that works in harmony with the other. If a magnet has two positives or two negatives, then it repels and it doesn't work. This is the same for life. In order for us to gain knowledge and be whole, we need to use both sides of duality as equals. The feminine masculine energy of duality is no different. If we view one side as weaker than the other, then we create an imbalance and duality is not upheld. This understanding will enable us to go outside our limited view and gain awareness from a different perspective. So for each experience that we have, there is an endless amount of information that allows us to see things from another point of view. If we are open and willing to go outside our own ego and ask ourselves, what else can I learn from this experience? Then we will open up the pathways to duality. In the moment we ask ourselves, what else can I be? What else can I do? What else can I learn? We instantly engage our soul into perspective. Truth, knowledge, acceptance, and healing start to become the energies we generate, and we now start to move away from limitations such as judgment, anger, and hate. One of the questions that I get asked most is, why do we live so many lives? In order for us to understand this, we have to take a look at duality. A common misconception is if we do wrong or bad in this lifetime, well then in the next life, we're going to get punished to see how it feels. This is a very limited way of thinking. In truth, who we are, we have a different understanding of the way life actually is. So think of it this way. If we come as a particular role in this lifetime, then in another lifetime we'll come as the opposite, and we'll bounce back and forth many times until we gain a full perspective. We must understand that this is not a punishment. It is the way for us to grow in consciousness. So for example, if we're a person who is rich and snobby in a particular lifetime, then in a future life, we'll come as poor and kind to gain another perspective. This is a cycle that all of us go through until it's completed. So let's think of it this way. If we use this whiteboard to draw duality and unity, what starts out is this. If we take ourselves as one unity and then we say, how many lives and perspectives can we be? We incarnate here to create duality. And so let's take these lines as duality. So each life we have, we're going to have different perspectives. until we gain so far away that we kind of lose our idea of unity. And this is where we're going, because so many of us has lost the idea of unity that we don't even understand it anymore. All we see is our own duality, which keeps us from seeing any other perspective. And so what ends up happening is eventually we're going to have to get to a point where we say, you know what, we need to get back to unity. And so we draw these lines to connect, because these lines are our polar opposites. This side of us we may be on, and this side of us we may dislike. Or we may be down on this side, and this is the side that we dislike. In order for us to gain unity, we must understand each side of it in order to gain a full perspective. And so we will have many different lives over and over and over and over and over until we have the full spectrum and until we gain unity. We must learn acceptance, patience, and understanding in order to create the form of unity. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoy it. As always, don't forget to follow and like us, and feel free to leave a comment below. If you have a topic that you'd love to hear about in regards to spirituality or alternative healing, please email me. The link will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and have a wonderful rest of the day.